Let's assume that the bank gives you this big pile of money. The real question is, are you going to use this to really increase your overall wealth? Or is this going to haunt you forever because you spent it the wrong way and you still got to pay on it for the next 10, 20, or 30 years? The question is, should I go into debt to make more money? Let's get into the conversation and really get a good education on what that looks like. The real question you want to ask yourself is, should you go into debt to make more money? And I think if you understand America, and if you understand business, and if you understand any kind of capitalism, not promoting any way or one side or the other, but the point is, debt, if done properly, can enhance your net worth incredibly, especially if you're surrounding yourself with the right people and you make the right investments. So your whole life, I'm assuming you hear that debt is bad, right? Whether it's your teacher, could be passed down generationally, could be social conditioning, whatever the case may be, debt is bad. And by the way, a certain kind of debt is real bad. Let's get into this a little bit here. There's certainly an argument to be made that debt is not good, but borrowing money and taking on debt is one of the only ways to invest and build even greater avenues of wealth. That's true, but let's go back for a second. Bad debt to us in the world of credit cards is bad. Because you're paying interest, you don't get to write it off, right? Any kind of debt that you can't earn another rate of return on and you're not even getting a tax benefit can become a major challenge because it could begin to create a big mountain of debt. And then all of a sudden, instead of knocking down what you owe back, you're just paying interest over and over again to somebody else instead of yourself. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about consumer debt versus intelligent debt. Another word for consumer debt would be non-preferred debt, right? So Macy's credit cards, Banana Republic credit cards, Bank of America credit cards, any kind of credit card you can think of, Chase, all kinds of credit cards. At the end of the day, especially if you're maintaining a balance that you have to pay interest on, and if it's something that is not really under control, is very bad debt. Same thing with a car loan, whether it's a finance or a lease. These are bad debts. I understand that you need the car, and there's another conversation there. But at the end of the day, if you're just in the mountain of debt that I talked about before and you're constantly paying interest to every other bank except for your own bank, then what could happen is you could really begin to lose a lot of money every single year. So now we have intelligent debt or preferred debt, right? So what's intelligent debt? Well, once again, proper team, an intelligent debt would be if I bought a rental piece of real estate, right? We know we're getting 4 different rates of return. We talked about that often. Cash flow, mortgage interest write-off, depreciation, and then you expect the property to appreciate over time, right? So those are intelligent preferred debt because the bank is going to loan you the money to go buy that piece of real estate, right? But you also have interest. That interest on that piece of property gives you a mortgage interest write-off. Once again, you want to talk to your accountant, but to make sure that it's properly structured. If you do that, you're in the space of intelligent debt. And there's many other intelligent debts, whether, let's say if you have a business and you go to a bank and you get a business loan, and you use that business loan to hire more employees that could generate more revenues, and then you can look at those revenues and have those revenues pay back the bank, well, that business loan became one of the greatest things you could do in your business. So listen, folks, here's a quick hack, and you've heard it before. I'm not creating something new, but let's look at credit card spending and balance transfers. For example, let's say you have a Chase card that has a balance of $20,000, and let's say the interest on that, I'm just going to make up a number, is about 20%. Well, if you transfer that $20,000 to a credit card that gives you 0 interest for 18 months, 12 months, or 6 months, the money that you were spending every month on the 20 previously can now knock down your balance a lot faster. That's something that a lot of smart people do that are responsible and they're looking to really reduce and not pay interest to somebody else. Another hack there is whatever interest you were paying to the previous credit card, you can now keep that interest in your pocket and put it into another bucket that's going to create another slush fund for you as well that gives you the ability to tap into that money for other opportunities. Snowball versus Avalanche. Okay, you got 3 credit cards, right? And they have different balances. And remember, if you celebrate small successes, you could build momentum. So look at the lowest balance credit card and begin to take the difference of money that was going towards the highest interest and pay that down. Once you start to pay that down, you get a level of excitement because you have a victory, and then you rinse and repeat that model. So you could prevent the snowball from turning into an avalanche, and at that point, you could really begin to reduce your debt consistently and on a monthly basis. So let me just kind of step back one more time, because between the snowball versus avalanche, there's an emotional component. And if you could gamify all of this stuff in your world and understand the difference, that's how you could really begin to knock this off. And like anything else, once momentum is created and you stay in the world of momentum and don't give it up, then it begins to exponentially grow. And in this case, exponentially reduce, and psychologically you win. So the next question is mortgage, which by the way, to me is preferred, that even if it's in your personal residence, just so we're on the same page, but let's talk about it. You have, should I go from a 15-year or should I go from a 30-year to a 15-year? And for the folks that just can't wait to pay off their house, by the way, that's a great goal. But if you're in a hurry to pay off your house and you go from a 30, let's say, to a 15, what you're really doing is that extra money is going to the bank, and then they're taking that extra money and they're loaning it out through the velocity of money multiplier, and they're making 40 cents on every dollar that you give them. Remember, equity has no rate of return. Equity is based on current market conditions in real estate. So whether you pay off the house earlier or not, the real question is that extra money that you're doing to pay off the house, and let's say if real estate does go up, what if you would have put that extra money over here, right? And now this extra money is earning you another rate of return outside of your real estate. And by the way, you're still maximizing your tax write-offs, because by staying at a 30-year or refinancing to a 30-year, what's happening is your principal reduction, you get that first 7 years of interest. So it's important to understand that it's not a yes or no. It's not should I do 15 or 30. The question is, do you want to pay it off sooner? And is there a more efficient way to pay it off sooner while still maximizing your tax benefits? So let's check out number 4, which is intelligent debt, right? And we're going to apply it specifically to business, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you have 5, 10, 20 employees, whatever the case may be, right? Now, it's important to understand if you're running a business, right, and you really have the right teammates around you that are not only connected to the company's DNA and what the mission is and the goals and objectives, that all has to be in line first. And once that's in line, yeah, listen, if you buy something on credit or get a business loan that's going to go to your business, produce revenues or cash flow, and come back and not only be able to pay the bank, but also be able to expand the business, this is some of the most intelligent debt you could do. But you just don't take a business loan to take a business loan. You have to make sure that there's a really purpose for this money, and you've mapped it out for 6, 12, 18, even 24 months. Okay, folks, finally, I love this, and I'm going to give you my story with this, but let me just break it down simply, and let's talk about genius debt and what that looks like, right? So we have active and silent partners. So let's say, for example, you actually want to buy real estate, or let's say you want to expand your business, but I'll stay with the real estate for now, and you want to be able to use other people's money to go buy that real estate, right? One of the things you could do as an active person to go buy real estate, build a team around you, build your own little side hustle bank that allows you to have your money grow and come back tax-free, earn a guaranteed rate of return, uninterrupted interest, and then borrow from that bank for your real estate as your down payment. That's one thing you could do. But there could be other people that really respect how smart you are, and they have a lot more money currently than you do. Well, they become passive partners to you in your world. And as a result of that, that could bring in more capital. Once again, you're on the hook to perform, and you got to I dot and T cross. But if you have that level of confidence because of the homework you did, well, really good things will begin to happen, and you'll be able to create a rinse and repeat model. So real quick, a couple years ago, we picked up 3, and I'm talking about Epic Financial Strategies, silent partners. These folks had capital, and we had a vision. We wanted to be able to impact everybody when it comes to education about money. And all we want to do is be able to focus on that, and we didn't want to have to worry about the money side. So a couple years back, we got 3 people that stepped in and gave us initial capital. At the same time, besides the sales team that we've created to be able to get out there and be able to send the message to all the good folks out there about financial education, we picked up 2 active partners as well who became traffic drivers. In other words, their community, to be able to serve their community with another value add by being able to have Epic educate the people that go through their community. And as a result of that, the genius that for us has been positively explosive, and it's allowed us to be able to get our message out on a daily basis, reaching out to you, providing world-class financial education and opportunities to have conversations about how you could get to where you want to go based on where you are right now. All right, listen, if you ask somebody how much debt should I enter into and they give you an answer, don't let them in your house. They're going to steal your jewelry. And what do I mean by that? That's a general question. And if anything is created based on generalities and not specifics, it becomes a major challenge. So one of the things that we always love to do when we speak with people is really find out to the core, what are your goals and objectives? What does your relationship with money look like? Is it scarce? Is it abundant? Do you understand what debt is? Do you understand how to maximize every dollar? How much can you save on a monthly basis? Are you saving 10, 15, or 20%? And once we understand all of that, then it becomes a conversation of, okay, we could share with you how much debt you should go into, because at that point, there's a true understanding of where you are and where you want to go. So go ahead and click the link below. One of the team members at Epic will have a conversation with you. There's no obligation on your part, and they will share with you the success track that's necessary to figure out these answers. So listen, at the top of the video, we talked about if the bank gave you a loan and if you did the right thing with that money. By no means is this a guarantee what I'm showing you right now, but I'm giving you a visual on if you use debt properly, you could take this and then turn it into this, right? Now, there it is. There it is. Hey, listen, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. And by the way, check out this video over here.